My preparation's been pretty good. You know, I've been training 6-7 weeks for this fight.
You don't want a hometown decision, say you're after a quick knockout?
Yeah, that's my forte, you know. I usually like to knock them out, you know, and then think about the points later, but I always do my best.
Victoria's Most Improved Fighter 2002, a great honour for you.
Yeah, it was a good accolade, and I thought I deserved it because I thought, you know, the best fighters in Victoria and then, you know, a Queenslander, and I'm willing to fight anyone.
Yes. I don't know too much about him, only what I've heard. I heard he's very tough, can bang a little bit too, so he's a little bit shorter than me, so realistically I should be able to keep him at length, and yeah, it should be a good fight.
Rod Waterhouse reckons you're one of the fittest fighters he's ever seen. You have this commitment to fitness. Does that come from football?
Yeah, I suppose. I've always been active. My theory is, you know, if you're going to do something, do it right, and you have no excuses at the end of the day, no matter whether it's injuries or work or whatever. You put 100% in and be the best you can, and the results don't come. You've given it everything you have.
Well, there he is, Mr. Stephen NG, and we won't get any arguments here from him. He's a really hot prospect. Troy Waters, he's got some physical advantages there too, certainly in height.
Well, most definitely in height. So, look, he's got all the physical advantages, but has he got the skill? Has he got the power to do the job? We will soon see.
All right, well, Phil Player is standing by. He's ready to introduce these lads, and let's go to Phil.
Right, welcome once again to round the second event here on the sunny Gold Coast this Sunday afternoon at Quest of the Hurricane. Our second event, ladies and gentlemen, once again, is a 6-by-3-minute contest. Tonight he fights out of the red corner where he weighed in at 69.85 kilos. He comes from down there in the cold in Melbourne. He's trained by Bryce Birtwistle with a fight record of 4 fights, 1 win, that win by way of KO. He's a former kickboxer. He's a dragon. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul the Dragon Lee.
Paul Lee, well, he looks pretty cool there. He's got the Elvis shades on and the black jacket. He's a very strong fighter. I saw him fight Nick Tatoris on a Stuart Duncan show down there in Melbourne. A terrific show it was, too, put together by Stuart Duncan, and he gave a pretty good account of himself against a world-rated junior welterweight, and as you can see there, he's a strong, very game, very tough guy. Paul Upham, he looks a pretty good prospect. His record isn't that flash, but he has fought some good fighters, and he always puts on a very entertaining show.
Talking to him, Paul Lee, at the weigh-in yesterday, very confident going into this fight. He was a little bit overweight at the weigh-in. He had to come back and weigh in a second time, but that didn't seem to bother him. He was very, very confident victory over another good young fighter, Stephen NG.
And Phil Player, he's about to introduce Mr. NG.
His opponent this evening, fighting out of the blue corner, weighed in at 69.65 kilos. He's a local boy from the Gold Coast, where he's trained up there at Fistic Fury by Rod Waterhouse. 1 fight, 1 win, 1 KO. He's a former amateur Australian light middleweight. He's the Grasshopper, Stephen Grasshopper NG.
There he is, the Grasshopper. He's been watching a few of those old Kung Fu TV shows. I think he's got a very lean and lanky style. He's got a bit of the David Carradine look about him too, Stephen NG. He's comes into this fight with just 1 professional victory in 1 fight, but it was a very impressive one over Peter Petru, who was a top amateur in Sydney. And with that 1 professional fight, Stephen NG announced that he's going to be a force in the middleweight and super middleweight and junior middleweight divisions for a long time to come.
In the red corner, ladies and gentlemen, he weighed 69.85. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul the Dragon Lee! His opponent, the blue corner, weighed in at 69.65. The Grasshopper from the Gold Coast, Stephen Grasshopper NG. The referee for this event, Cyril Cairns. Your judges, Derek Millen, Adrian Cairns, and Chris Daly. And Dr. Ron Fulham, your medico at ringside.
into the Dragon. Here we have Paul Lee, the Dragon, against the Grasshopper. Stephen NG, former Australian amateur junior middleweight champion, very polished boxer, and yet another star from the Rod Waterhouse stable.
Yeah, will the Grasshopper jump all over the Dragon? We'll soon see.
Immediately, Paul Upham, big contrast in styles.
Well, Stevie NG, very tall, he's got a great reach advantage, and I think you're going to see him just pop in with this left-hand jab. He's got an excellent jab, Stephen Ng, and follows up with a good right hand.
Oh, beautiful overhand right, though, from Paul Lee to start this first round.
Certainly not intimidated, Paul Lee. Straight in with a big right hand. If he was a little overweight at the weigh-in yesterday, it would have been all muscle he had to lose, because he's a little powerhouse.
Well, let me tell you, this kid, this is what he needs to do, is to come forward, throw those big, heavy shots over the top, and work on that body of Stephen NG.
He's made the impact already. Paul Lee's prevented Stevie NG from getting off to a good start and getting that jab established, and that's what he's got to do, Troy. He's got to get in there and work the body.
Is to keep that pressure on Paul, work that body, as you're saying. Stay tight, don't get caught with anything silly. We know that Stephen NG has got good power. Oh, there's a beautiful right hand, and that hurt Paul Lee.
Yeah, straight away, Stephen NG showing that he's got plenty of punching muscle there. He certainly showed plenty against Peter Petru in his only professional fight. Petru was a top amateur out of Sydney, and Stephen NG came down there out of the Rod Waterhouse stable and did a job on him in 4 rounds.
Yeah, let me tell you, Peter Petru, you know, Jeff Henning had some big raps on Peter Petru, but he was caught. Oh, there's two beautiful right hands from Paul Lee.
Paul Lee, he's not intimidated by Stephen NG's size or his haircut. He's come to fight.
This kid certainly has come to fight, and he's landed 2 beautiful right hands. And I'm sure that's a wake-up call for Stephen NG. He knows now this kid is here to fight.
A lot of power there, Paul Lee. Pushing Steve NG back with his punches.
Oh, that's another right hand. Look, he's got to keep that left hand up.
I think Stephen NG's falling into the trap. He's just trying to take him out with the right hand himself, and he's walking into him.
Yeah, and he's blinking that left eye now to his Stephen NG.
There's a lot of swelling on that left eye there of Stephen NG.
Yeah, if he gets too many right hands on that left eye, that could start to close. He's certainly having a lot of trouble seeing out of that left eye. And that's going to be even the better for Paul Lee to land with that right hand, because he won't see it coming.
Can Paul Lee maintain the pace? I guess that's the question. He started very fast.
Yeah, he started fast.
Still 5 more rounds to go after this one.
I think he surprised Stephen NG the way he started. He's so quick, and he's really lunging in there. Stephen NG trying to counter as he lunges in.
Yeah, Stephen NG, all credit to him, they're fighting very well. Oh, there's another beautiful right hand. I tell you, Paul Lee can't take too many of those sort of shots, because this fight will be all over.
Those fighters landing some good bombs here early in the first round.
As we get to the closing seconds of the first round, what fireworks we've already seen today, and the day's just started.
I was just about to say, Grantley, we had a crackerjack first fight, and the second one has started even better. This is an indication of how the fight's going to go tonight. Well, by gosh, we've got great action to look forward to.
A little tap of appreciation there from Paul Lee. Admiration. He cracked Stephen NG with a few big shots over the top, but Stephen NG came back with some right hands of his own.
I think Paul Lee might have taken that first round there, landed some very good right hands, Grantley.
He did. He not only surprised Stephen NG, I think he surprised us with the fury of his start. There's a cracker of a right hand over the top. Another right hand.
And look,
another right hand. That's me.
And he does have some power, does Paul Lee. So Stephen NG, we know now, has got a good chin.
And it's almost as though Paul Lee needs a stepladder to get to Stephen NG. He's well down on the height stakes, but he's managing to find his chin on the side of his head with a great deal of frequency.
And I tell you what, they're having a little bit of trouble with that left eye of Stephen NG. He's starting to close badly in that first round.
Yeah, already Paul up and the end swells come out. Not a good sign after just 1 round.
That's a very badly swollen eye there, left eye there from Stephen NG, and it's going to make it very hard for him to put his combinations together, Troy.
Oh, look, most definitely it's going to affect his vision. And once his vision has been affected, he won't be seeing that right eye. He'll be thinking of his eye rather than going to work and using his own punches.
Well, we know Paul Lee can really punch. He scored a tremendous first-round knockout over Dwayne Crowe last year. Dwayne Crowe was a pretty highly touted fighter from the Keith Ellis stable, and Paul Lee put him away in the first round, which is really saying something. And I saw him fight Nick Totoris, who's a world-rated junior welterweight in the WBO, and he gave Nick Totoris all the fight he could handle. So he's bringing that sort of form into this fight against Stephen NG, the former Australian amateur champion, and he's got Stephen NG on the back foot, certainly at this stage of the second round after a pretty dominating first-round performance.
Well, look, I've seen a lot of fights in Australia at the moment, a lot of boys running around. Australia's, you know, we're stocked to the barrel full of, you know, a lot of really good talent. I mean, we just need to harness that talent, bring some good guys out here for our boys to fight, and there's a few world champions in the making, that's for sure.
Stephen NG now, what he's trying to do is he's staying up the backside there. On the outside, he's waiting for Paul Lee to jump in. As he jumps in, he's trying to counter him with that right hand.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. Make Paul Lee use his own weight against him there. Yeah, trying to counter him with that beautiful right hand. Just missing on that attempt. Yeah, Stephen NG needs to keep that work happening with that jab. Oh, a nice uppercut from Stephen NG. Just chipped over the leg of Paul Lee, though.
Really looking worse for wear. Stephen NG took it just a light right hand there, just clipped him on the chin.
Yeah, but he's getting caught with those sort of shots.
Paul Lee comes into this fight with a pretty extensive kickboxing background too, and obviously that's where he's developed plenty of power.
Yeah, he's bustling forward. He's like the bull of the matador in there, but he's at the moment the bull's on top.
If Paul Lee can get away with this will be a real upset here, because Stephen NG, after that victory over Peter Petru, very highly touted.
Yeah,
referee Cyril Gans taking back to the corner now.
That eye looks very bad, mate.
Yeah, looking very, very nasty. The referee could bring the doctor in. The doctor could stop this fight.
Many fingers. Four. Many? Okay. Okay, box on. Box on.
Well, his vision's good enough to do the finger count there, but is it good enough to keep avoiding those right hands? We'll see now.
I tell you what, this fight, if that eye gets any worse, this fight's not long for the making, because he's just not seeing what's coming on that right side, on his left-hand side.
Bit of desperation stuff now from Stephen NG. He's starting to wing his punches. He's got to do something to get this guy out of his face.
Yeah, the only way he's going to do that is staying on the outside and sticking that jab. Okay. Make Paul Lee walk onto that jab. That'll stop Paul Lee coming forward.
But he really hasn't been able to utilise that jab, has he, Troy?
No, he hasn't. Well, that's the bustling style of Paul Lee. He's negating everything that Stephen NG is doing.
That eye looks absolutely horrific now.
Yeah, look, this fight's not too long for the making, I'm telling you. They're going to stop this fight very, very shortly.
Yep. Oh, another big shot on the chin.
Beautiful right uppercut, though, from Stephen NG just at the end of the round, and Paul Lee came back with his own right hand.
Well, there he is in the corner, Paul Lee. He's certainly been a surprise back in these first two rounds.
It's a surprise everyone. Surprised us, surprised Stevie NG, and Diamond Dale Westerman there, sticking his head in, the former kickboxing and boxing from Victoria.
Let's have a look at some of these power shots in close from these boys. Paul Lee walking up all the time, looking to land the big ones. There's the right hand right in the chin. Stephen NG really was shaken by that one. He's been shaken repeatedly throughout this fight.
Yeah, look, this is a very, very big surprise. Stephen NG was not supposed to have this sort of trouble with Paul Lee as they were putting the inswell on Stephen NG's eye. Trying to, you know, push that hot blood away from that eye. Trying to reduce the swelling so that he has a little bit of vision out of that left eye.
Third round, Paul Upham. What does Stephen NG have to do now?
The doctor having another look at this eye currently.
Box on.
Yeah, the doctor's still determining that he does have some vision out of that left eye.
This is a bit like Hagler and Hearns, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, in that fight, Hagler was badly cut against Thomas Hearns in the first two rounds, and he came out and knocked him out in the third round. Stephen NG's got to do something like that. He's got to start landing that big right hand of his own.
Yeah, well, we know that Stephen NG does have the power, but can he land it against this guy? This guy's just like a bull. He's coming in, he's being very, very effective at making Stephen NG miss.
He just has to try and counter Paul Lee as he lunges in. He's got to try and hit with that right hand, but Paul Lee, he's just got a swarming type style, and he's really putting Stephen NG off his game here.
Yeah, what Stephen NG needs to do, he keeps going back in a straight line. He's got to get some lateral movement. When Paul Lee comes, you know, marching forward like the bull, he needs to step out to the left or to the right and counter with his own shots, not go back in a straight line. Stephen NG, he's getting caught with shots when he's doing that. As he's doing there, trapped on the ropes.
Watch your heads, both of you.
Well, there's about over a minute gone in this first round. Stephen NG's yet to throw a jab. That's really been his downfall so far, hasn't it?
Most definitely. Well, what happened was Paul Lee caught him with a couple of right hands early, and he's made Stephen NG a little bit wary of throwing that left hand.
So you think Stephen NG's gun shy at this stage?
Oh, look, I'm positive that he's gun shy at the moment. He's been caught with some big shots. He's felt the power of Paul Lee, and he's a little bit wary at the moment. And there's another right hand.
He looks a mess, Stephen NG, Paul Upham. His face is just distorted now.
You wouldn't think he could see out of that left eye, and that's obviously going to put him off, and he just can't establish that jab. And Paul Lee is just all over him, and Paul Lee's showing that if you time your punches properly, Troy, you can land against a taller fighter.
Oh, look, most definitely. He's keeping the pressure on. That is the most important thing with a shorter fighter fighting a guy who is taller. He must keep the pressure on. Oh, there's another beautiful right hand. Straight on that left eye. I think the doctor has to stop this fight at the end of this round. Because
well, he's just so relaxed and composed now, Paul Lee. And there's another tremendous shot. Yeah, the referee all over him.
Well, I was just about to say the referee might not have to stop this fight because that right hand from Paul Lee put Stephen NG in all sorts of trouble. The legs went to jelly. He was walking on licorice legs at the moment.
Obviously, you can't see out of that left eye, and you can't really see where half those punches are coming from.
Oh, there's a nice hard uppercut, though, from Stephen NG. He doesn't realise that he hurt Paul Lee. He stung Paul Lee with that beautiful right uppercut.
Gutsy effort from Stephen NG. He's still fighting back. He's trying to win the fight. He's trying to hit with that right hand.
Well, he has to come home strong. We've got 20 seconds left in the third round, and let me tell you, that eye is looking ugly. It's a nasty right eye. Paul is starting to look a little bit fatigued. And why wouldn't he? It's been a very, very fast pace.
End of another very bad round there for Stephen NG. That eye looks hideous.
I think they're going to have to bring the doctor in and have a look at this eye because from what I can see, there's Rod Waterhouse putting the end swell on that eye, trying to push that hot blood away. But I do not think he can see out of that left eye, Paul Upham.
Yeah, the doctor's just waiting. It looks like he's going to come up the stairs again as we see some replay here. And Paul Lee, he's really attacking now with those right hands. There's some great body work there.
Just about to say, not concentrating on the head, still dug those 3 shots down to the body. Beautiful punching.
He's trying to come back, Stephen NG, but Paul Lee, his weight of punches and his power of punches has just been too much for him in this first 3 rounds. He got off to a great start, Paul Lee, in that first round, and Stephen NG wasn't able to recover.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see whether the doctor allows this fight to continue. Because the doctor is actually coming into the ring.
The doctor wants to have a look.
Not going to allow this fight to continue until he does check that eye.
How many? 5. How many? 4. 1. Box.
Well, they're letting him continue. Doesn't look well, Stephen NG. He's got to do something in this round because he can't keep taking punishment the way he has.
No, that's most definitely Groundler. He really does need to pull something out of the fire because he is at the moment he's like a guy in a dark alley. He's getting beat up.
And because he's so wary of Paul Lee's punching power, Paul Lee's pretty composed and relaxed, and he's able to do pretty much as he likes in there.
Well, there's not a great deal coming back.
He can even take a breather when he wants to.
Most definitely. Not a great deal coming back from Stephen NG. He's a little bit wary of the power that Paul Lee does possess.
I know the boys at the Burleigh Boxing Gym would be enjoying this great start to the day. Smokey Dawson and Chubby McAvoy up there. They've been helping out Jorge Castro in preparation for today's big fight with Paul Briggs. We hope they haven't been helping out too much because we're here to see Paul Briggs do a great job for Australian boxing today. Of course, the Burleigh Boxing Gym, one of the oldest gyms in the country, one of the best gyms on the coast, and it was the headquarters for Jeff Fennick when he was training up here for quite a while.
Well, Castro's had some good training, and oh, what a right hand on the eye of Stephen NG.
Stephen NG, I don't think he's avoided one of those right hands over the top all fight.
The doctor keeps telling us that he can see out of that left eye. I'm not too sure, Groundley. I think he's having a little bit of trouble seeing the right hands coming now.
Yeah, well, it's all right, I guess, to be counting fingers, but fingers aren't hitting him in the side of the head with the big boxing glove on the end of it, knocking his head around.
Well, no, that's right. That eye, that's an ugly eye. That's, you know, that's one of the worst eyes that I've seen in all my years of boxing, especially being at a live fight. That eye is completely closed.
Paul Lee just slowing up a little bit in this round. He's giving a chance to Stephen Ng to try and get back into this fight.
Let me tell you, when Stephen Ng does let those shots go, he really does look good. But he's just not doing it enough.
Paul Lee's just a little bit untidy at the moment with his punches, and that could open the door for Stephen Ng to land one of those right hands. Some good jabs there from Stephen Ng.
Yeah, will only take one crushing blow to change this fight, that is for sure. But you know that Stephen Ng does have the power. He just needs to find the avenue to unleash that big right hand that he does have.
Well, Paul Lee's definitely slowed up in this round, but as we come down to the final few seconds of the round number 4, Stephen Ng still in trouble with that eye. Still on the receiving end of too much punishment.
Yeah, just not being effective at keeping Paul Lee away from him.
Another round in the bank there for Paul Lee, who's leading this fight very handsomely, which is not so handsome in the corner is poor Stephen Ng. That eye completely closed now. Doctor will have another look at it after this round.
Yeah, I think I may have just given that round to Stephen Ng. He may have just stole it. Could have gone either way. Once again, there's that beautiful right hand, Grantley, from Paul Lee.
I think the case is Stephen Ng just can't avoid them. When Paul Lee decides he's going to go over the top with that right hand, Stephen Ng just can't see them coming.
Well, I think that's probably the point in question here. Can he see those right hands coming? Personally, I don't think so.
Considering the damage to the eye, though, Grantley, I think Stephen Ng had a better round that time. He did make Paul Lee miss on a few occasions, landed some good punches of his own. The doctor in his corner again there having another look.
Shaking his head.
I can see it.
That's the end of the fight. Stephen Ng very unhappy, saying he's fine. The doctor didn't agree. Paul Lee, what a surprise winner he is. This has been a real upset. Enter the Dragon, say that again, because this kid's come up here from Melbourne, very much the underdog, pretty much as we thought that Stephen Ng had just tee off at him with that big jab, but Paul Lee, what a surprise packet he turned out to be. Big right hands. Stephen Ng couldn't recover from that damaged eye, and Paul Lee has scored a stoppage at the end of the 4th round.
Yeah, well, he just bustled forward, kept throwing those big shots, and I think, look, the downfall of Stephen Ng was he got caught early and he just could not recover.
Well, we've got the official decision here from Phil Player.
Yes, stopped in the 4th round by the corner of Rod Waterhouse due to the damage of the right eye of Stephen Ng. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big hand for the victor from the red corner, the Dragon from Melbourne, Paul the Dragon Lee!
Wishka. Those big right hands, that's what won the fight for Paul Lee, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more from him. He had a slow start to the professional ranks. He only had 1 win in 4 fights coming into this bout, but by defeating Stephen Ng in such impressive fashion, he's set himself up for some big fights down the track.
Yeah, and I think he's made a lot of people stand up and take notice, that's for sure. There's not a lot of trainers will, excuse me.
And just a very little interesting surprise packet there, Paul Lee. Very entertaining fighter, Grantley. He brings a sort of style that the fans love, and he really took the fight to Stephen Ng, and as Troy said, it all come from that first round. Paul Lee, he jumped out of the blocks and landed some great right hands, and the way the fight ended, that was the end for Stephen Ng.
Yeah, as you were saying, Paulie just could not recover from that first round. He was hurt in that first round. The eye started to swell, and it just got progressively worse to the point where the doctor had to come in and stop the fight, call a halt to proceedings.
He's a little Rocky Marciano type, isn't he, Paul Lee? He's just coming over to have a word with Phil Player at the moment. Let's go to Phil and have a word with the victor here, Paul Lee.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Paul the Dragon Lee from Vietnam to Melbourne to the Gold Coast, and a very stunning victory this afternoon, Dragon.
Yeah, it was. Stephen's a good boxer. You know, he's a former amateur champ. You know, I've only had just a few kickboxing fights, and I got straight into pro boxing. I'd just like to thank you everyone for coming down to support professional boxing.
and hope to see you guys more in the future.
We saw that you opened up Stephen's eye in the early rounds. Was it a plan then? Did your corner, Bryce, tell you to keep working on that eye?
Yeah, Bryce did say that. He's a great trainer. I want to thank Bryce, my cornerman, Dale, Craig, Mike Cope, Ron Parr, and everyone down Melbourne Martial Arts Centre in Melbourne. Thank you.
So we're going to see a lot of you in the boxing ring as well as in the kickboxing ring, Paul.
Yeah, hopefully you will. I like to travel, I fought all over Australia, I don't just fight in my own state like most of the guys, I like to travel, so I hope to see you guys more in the future.
Well, we'll always welcome you up here on the sunny Gold Coast. From down there in Melbourne, ladies and gentlemen, Paul the Dragon Laird.
Well, there he is, a very delighted winner, Paul Lee, a real surprise packet here. He came here to do a job and he did it. He was very much the underdog going into this fight.